Alright guys, this will be my attempt at the Gshock Frogman video. I know there was quite a few people asking about it. Of course I was going to do it. I mean, I bought it. I've been wearing it a lot. Actually, way more than I thought. You can see I have some defects now, I guess. I'm still trying to figure out how to get these off. This is overspray from Deep Woods Off mosquito repellent spray. I wore this on a kayak river trip. Sprayed myself down with some of that Deep Woods Off. Some of it got on the watch. And I've used alcohol wipes. I've used soap and water and scrubbed. I cannot get those off. So I think I had a Gshock in the past, a square that did this. And I never did get them off. So I guess whatever. My intention with this watch is to use it. So if I'm using it and I get some mosquito repellent on it and it makes it look like this, then so be it. Maybe I'll try boiling it or something. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to get it off, but let's talk about the watch. So first of all, we're going to talk about the size because that can be the size alone can basically you guys could just tune out. For a lot of wrist, it's not going to work. I think anything smaller than probably 6 3/4, it's just, I mean, I know you could wear it smaller, but I mean, it's definitely going to be hanging off. I mean, it borderline hangs off my wrist at 7 1/4. So, but if you measure from here to here, you're looking at 50.3 millimeter, but you got to look at it. It's offset. So we're going to talk about that. The effective lug to lug, so from screw to screw here on the side, is about 54 millimeter. It's also very, long on that way. The thickness, not including these protrusions up here, but the thickness on the low spot to the bottom is 15.5 millimeter. So yeah, it's thicker at this point, but I was trying to be fair and measure it down here at the low point. So it's just 15.5 mil. All right. So because of the offset where the strap comes into it, if you were to somehow calculate a measurement from say here to if it was asymmetrical and it was like cut off over here, it kind of would wear more like a 43 millimeter watch, if that makes sense. So like if this round part was continued the same distance over here, it would be much more like a 43 millimeter watch. Of course, it protrudes out past that, so it is a wider watch. But if you're wearing it on your left wrist, I don't think you're going to have issue with it as far as it protruding onto the, to your wrist up here. It's not going to be an issue. So you can rule that out, and that's actually one of the best features of the Frogman, I think, besides the fact that it's just cool all around. I mean, it has a screw-down case back, which is also elevating it to cool status. So it is also constructed very well, and it is super heavy duty. This watch was $375 from an eBay seller. I'll try to put the link in the description. I think he's almost out. I'm not sure if he's going to restock. There's other ones out there, so prices may vary, but they usually sell for more than that. But this is the entry-level one. This is the one I like because it does not have the metal keeper, and I like sub $500 watches. So I think that's a lot of money, especially when you're playing with many watches like a lot of us do. So we try to get them as, on the lower end. I think you can spend a lot more on a Frogman. I don't think you're getting a lot more. I think you're getting different colorways and maybe a few other options. So I like this one. I think most people that want to check out a Frogman, this is a good platform to start with. So, you got the Gshock signed clasp here. It's a double tang. It's going to be super secure. Let me give you a wrist shot, and then we can talk about some of the functions. I don't want to go too long on this. Even the, I'll show you when I get it back off wrist. But so here it is on my 7 1/4, and yes, it is a big watch. But I'm telling you, like this motion here, there's no digging, there's no obstruction or anything. It just wears fine, and it is definitely masculine and beefy and military-looking type watch. So no doubt about it. So even the length of it, for a larger wrist, you're going to be able to get your fit on it. And then this taper here, this rounded taper, makes it so it's easy to get it on the wrist, no problem, because sometimes rubber on rubber can grab. But let's talk about the functions real quick. You can see you have, I mean, this is not a sapphire crystal. This is going to be a mineral crystal, but this is like a tide graph. Maybe I can zoom in if it'll stay focused. But you got a tide graph here. You have a moon phase. This is just another subdial that shows seconds, and it'll also come into play if you do like your countdown timer or your stopwatch function. Of course, you have your day and then your date. So 8th month, 11th day. Daylight savings time is on. You have the PM indicator there. You can go 24-hour if you want. The PS down here is the power save mode. So if you let it sit idle and you're not using it at all, then it'll just blank out the screen, and then when you pick it up and start to move it or hit a button or something like that, it'll get back into action. These indicators down here are L for low, M for medium, and H for high. That's your solar charge. This is a tough solar multi-band. So this one's obviously high because I've been wearing the heck out of it, so it's going to get a full charge. So you can see you have some labeling here. So this button here is going to be for your illumination, but it also has to do with settings. So you can see on the inside there it says reverse and then forward. So that'll be like when you're setting different cities or whatever for your time zones. This is also your log data. So this is a legit dive watch. You could actually log your dives. I don't think it'll log your desk dive though. I haven't tried. So then you have your mode button here, and these are different kind of buttons. You know, these are easy to use. These are really easy to use for your light and everything. These ones are a little more protected. So when you hit your mode, that's where you do your log. And like I said, I don't think it'll log you guys desk diving. And I mean, I don't dive. I don't even desk dive. So that shows your tide. So, 6 o'clock is, or something. I don't know about the tide. I don't really have to, I don't live near an ocean. I don't mess with tide. So, okay. So then there's your second time zone. You can set it to UTC. You can set it to a bunch of different cities. I have it set it to LAX so I can see what time it is over on the west coast of this continent or this country. So, 1:30, they're a few hours behind. And then you have alarm functions. There's multiple alarms you can set. I never use the alarm function, but I could if I wanted to. So you have your stopwatch, that you're going to be able to start, stop, and reset. Okay, there you go. So these are all pretty intuitive. If you've used one Gshock, you guys are going to be able to use pretty much any of these modules, and then you cycle back through, and then there's your time. Now, if you do hit this button up here, so this is your adjust button. But if you hit this button up here when you're just in your regular timekeeping mode and you just push it, it's going to show you up here that my second time zone that I'm tracking. So LAX, it's 1:30 there, it's 4:30 here in Michigan. So it's kind of nice to track, a second time zone if you have a buddy or something and you want to wake them up, or maybe you do want to wake them up, whatever. So it's something to keep track of, and it'll stay there, and then you hit it again and it'll jump back. But there's tons of other options. I'm not going to cover it all because quite frankly, I don't use it and most people aren't going to use it. But chances are if there's something you want to do, it'll probably do it. You can see this is using module 3184. And it's crazy tough with that case back and everything. So let me give you an illumination shot and then we'll close you out. Keep this video under 10 minutes. So you can see there, very good light function. Easily legible. And since we're talking about it, this is that Pro Trek, and I forgot to show you guys this. This has the coolest illumination ever, and I'll do another full video on this. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next vid.